This is Anti-Imperialist Front TV news for the week ending January 25th, 2025. The Konnonovich Brothers send greetings to Ayten Öztürk from the courtroom. On January 23rd, 2025, there was a court hearing in Ukraine regarding the anti-fascist committee Georgy Boyko. The Konnonovich brothers, who are under house arrest in Ukraine, sent a message of solidarity to Ayten Öztürk, who is detained in Turkey. Anti-fascists holding banners that read, "Free Ayten Öztürk," said, "Comrades, we the Ukrainian communists call on everyone to take action to support our comrade Ayten Öztürk, who is fighting. Freedom for Ayten Öztürk." Hunger strike resistance continues in Turkey. The resistance of prisoners in the prisons of Turkey continues. In the hunger strike resistance to isolation, torture, and well-type prisons, news of a victory came on January 25th. The demands of hunger strikers were accepted. The hunger strike demanded the ending of the isolation of sick prisoner Ekimcan Yildirim. Yildirim now stays with his comrades. In addition, Serkan Onur Yilmaz, Sercan Ahmet Aslan, Ferdi İşçi, Mulla Zincir, Yurdagul Gümüş, and Bakacan Işık's hunger strikes against well-type cells continue. After 50 years of captivity, Leonard Peltier was released at the age of 80. Before leaving office, President Biden allowed Native American Leonard Peltier, who had been unjustly imprisoned for nearly 50 years, to serve the remainder of his life sentence at home, effective February 18th, 2025. This means he did not actually gain full freedom. He was placed under house arrest. A brief overview of Leonard Peltier. Leonard Peltier has been in prison since 1976 and is the longest-serving native political prisoner in the United States. Leonard Peltier's long imprisonment is a slow death sentence. The Federal Bureau of Prisons has deprived him of medical care for decades. Medical neglect has led to complications due to his diabetes and difficulty eating. He is nearly blind. He needs a walker to walk. He requires treatment and adjustments for his disabilities. Instead, prison officials periodically cut off his insulin and deny him adequate dental care. Leonard was hospitalized again on New Year's Eve due to a ruptured blood vessel in his eye. He has experienced intermittent blindness and is on the verge of going blind. After Peltier was released, he sent a voice message. "It is finally over. I'm finally going home. I want to say this to the whole world. I am a kind-hearted, good person. I want to help people, just as my grandmother taught me." The French state has made another attempt to suppress solidarity with Palestine. The dissolution of the Collectif Palestine Vaincra. Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin announced the intention to dissolve the Collectif Palestine Vaincra on Twitter X in February 2022 at the request of Emmanuel Macron. The dissolution decision was approved by the cabinet on March 9th. In response to this extremely serious attack regarding the dissolution of the association, Collectif Palestine Vaincra appealed to the Council of State. The Emergency Measures Court decided to suspend the decree on April 29th, 2022. The appeal hearing regarding the dissolution of Collectif Palestine Vaincra will take place on January 27th. The Anti-Imperialist Front stands with Palestine Vaincra. To show its support, it has published a message of solidarity. Imperialism is playing the terror card again. Trump has once again added Ansar Allah to the list of terrorist organizations. Why? The Houthis, who control a large part of Yemen, are targeting ships carrying supplies to Israel in the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden. After this, the US and the UK are attacking Yemen with missiles. But that was obviously not enough for Trump, known as Israel's best friend, so he has included them on the terrorist list. Event in Greece on Syria in the hands of imperialism and Zionism. The event on imperialist interventions, occupations, colour revolutions, proxy wars, and the tasks of anti-imperialist movements was held at the University of Law in Athens and was attended by 90 people. Speakers included Konstantina Kartsiotti on behalf of the Anti-Imperialist Front, and representatives of other organizations working for the defeat of NATO. Academician Tim Anderson, author of the book The Dirty War in Syria, and Ilya Lobzhanis, member of the United Communist Party of Georgia and Socialist Platform Georgia, also participated with a video message. Meanwhile, disappearances and torture targeting Alawites are reported to be ongoing in Syria. An event was held at Ioannina, Greece, for Nikos Romanos and the case of Ampelokipoi at Social Centre Alimura, organised by the anti-authoritarian movement AK, with the participation of the Solidarity Committee for Nikos Romanos. The speaker was Konstantina Katsiotti from Anti-Imperialist Front. There was also the lawyer Lila Ragusi and members of AK. 60 people participated in the event. Freedom for all political prisoners in the Ampelokipoi case. Solidarity is the power of the people. Today is also a very important day for justice in Greece. Demonstrations took place in more than 180 towns in Greece and the world, calling for justice for the victims murdered by the Greek state and the government in the massacre at the train crash at Tempe 2 years before, on 28th February 2023. 57 people died, most of them youngsters, and the New Democracy government still hides the crime and tries to hide the investigation evidence that the families are fighting for. Some days before, an audio document saw the light of day testifying that many of the victims of the tragedy survived the crash but were burned alive. Pain and anger has overwhelmed the loved ones of the victims and millions of people across the country and beyond who will be at the planned rallies to shout louder than ever the slogans, "I have no oxygen," last words of a young girl before she died. The crime at Tempe is a massacre by capitalism and the state, a crime of imperialism and injustice. Justice for the 57 people who were massacred at Tempe. And that is Anti-Imperialist Front TV news for this week. For news outside the mainstream, follow us on social media. See you next week.